1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be online in just a moment.
Indeed.
Whoa, take us back to testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go again. It's live.
Hi, in this episode of R3 Diving, we're going to talk about why people go diving, how you can get started in scuba diving, the major agencies that certify divers, who we are here at R3 Diving, and how we're a little bit different than other scuba diving videos as we're going to place some special emphasis on women divers.
Alrighty. So, why do people go diving? Let's see. Needless to say, we're live, and we've already made a mistake. We're gonna go with it, right? Who cares?
No
it's
worries.
live. It's a live internet.
No
So,
worries.
just to introduce us, my name is Ed Ramon. This is
I'm
my
Carolyn.
wife, Carolyn Ramon, and we are R3 Diving, and we just want to share our information, our knowledge with you, our soon-to-be viewers, and I hope you can bear with us as we go through our learning, our trying to share information with you. So, Carolyn, can you tell us why do people go diving?
Well, one obvious reason why people go scuba diving, Ed, is that it's usually on most people's bucket list. This is sort of one of those things that everybody wants to do at some point in their lives.
Very cool. So, the other reason that people go diving is for academic purposes. And we need to work on our transitions over here. So, like I said, first show, hope you bear with us, but if people are going to college, there's marine biology aspect of this, and they have to learn. So that's another reason. And Carolyn, what's another reason that people go diving?
Well, aside from academia, more and more we're interested in how we as humans are affecting our environment, especially our aquatic environments. So scuba diving allows us to get hands-on with how we can help the aquatic environment.
And honestly, there's just some people that love the water. They like to surf, boogie board, wakeboard, what have you. We're located here in Los Angeles, California, very close to the ocean. We're lucky enough to have a wide array of activities around the water. we love the water. That's one of the reasons why we got into this. Carolyn, what's another item?
Well, believe it or not, you actually can make a career out of this. Myself and Ed are actually professional scuba divers. Yeah. So we are professional PADI dive masters, and certainly you can actually make a career, whether it be in recreational, technical, or commercial diving.
Very cool.
But more importantly, Ed, bottom line, 3/4 of our planet, 75% of our planet is actually covered in water. Earth is a misnomer. So if you haven't been diving, you're missing out on more than half the planet.
But one of the cool things is that we actually got to experience Catalina Island. And on Catalina, there's a lot of stuff to do on the ocean at the top. And here is one individual. He wasn't with us, but his name is Pedro Costa. And he's made these killer videos. I hope I do some justice for him. But if you could play some background music at the same time there on our soundboard. Some sound, please. Thank you. You'll see what Catalina has to offer. Granted, we're going really fast on his videos, but there's also, I believe he works with a company called A Taste of Avalon, and they offer 2 items. There's where they can go eating, or where they take you to go eating, as well as they do a happy hour, which sounds really good. Experiencing different things in Catalina is just awesome.
Well, and as great as Catalina is as a land destination, the piece that most people don't realize is Catalina is actually one of the top 10 diving destinations in the world. And what you're seeing right now is just a small taste of some of the incredible animal and plant life that actually exists under the water at that island. So this is what makes it such an incredible dive destination. Now, what you're looking at is a great example of a kelp forest, what you'd find here off of our Southern California coasts, like this beautiful image of the kelp here found off of our Channel Islands. But you might associate scuba diving with some warmer destinations. So maybe, for example, the Caribbean, where you might envision kind of going down this beautiful wall and seeing larger underwater animals like sharks or turtles. Or let's even swing over to Hawaii, where you'd see manta rays and night diving. Or, of course, my personal bucket list and most divers' personal bucket list, Australia and the Great Barrier Reef.
Hey, there's Nemo.
And who doesn't want to find Nemo? So, you're interested, you're excited, you want to try scuba diving, you've been convinced that you need to see this other part of the world. So, how can you get started?
So, the first thing I have to say is if you have a buddy, and they say, hey, let's go scuba diving, they have extra gear, don't do it. You know, this guy over here looks like he's prepared. No, he's not. He's not an instructor. Find a qualified dive center, dive shop, somebody that can teach you the right way.
Absolutely. So just to give you some sense of this, there are 3 major agencies that actually certify divers. And they are, as you can see here, SDI, NAUI, and PADI. Ed and I actually happen to be certified through PADI. It happens to be one of the world's largest certifying agencies for recreational divers.
So actually, you know what? I was going to cut to one area, but maybe, let's see. So say you actually want to get diving or go diving for the first time. You actually could take a Discover Scuba Diving, and that's where professionals can take you. Some of the concerns that we do here is about ears. During that time, ask your professional, what should I do? How should I handle it? They're going to have some really, really great tips for you. And actually, for those that are listening live, if you do have questions, please feel free to send us anything via Periscope that we're streaming live at. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. You could tweet us at R3 Diving, and we'll see those. Or on Periscope, we're watching that right now as well. So please feel free to ask us questions. We'll get to them if we see them. So, Carolyn, go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Discover Scuba Diving experience, or what we in the biz call a DSD. So a Discover Scuba Diving experience is typically done in a pool or other what we call a confined body of water. So a body of water that's calm enough, unlike the open ocean. So that could be a freshwater lake, that may be more calmer sort of bays in the ocean. The point here on a Discover Scuba experience is to give those people that have never tried diving before a safe, comfortable experience of what it's like to breathe underwater. So Let's just take a look at some of the things that you're going to use during your Discover Scuba experience. If you've ever been snorkeling, the equipment is very similar. So you'll have a mask, snorkel, and fins. Depending, of course, on the environment that you're in, you may need an exposure suit. So this could be anything as simple as a rash guard to a small short wetsuit or even perhaps a full wetsuit,
Or
depending
even
on...
a t-shirt if you're in a warm environment.
Absolutely, Ed. Definitely. Of course, equipment that you're going to use when you're doing a Discover Scuba experience should be included in the price. You're not buying this gear yet. You're just trying it. So when you decide to try this out, ask a few questions about what's included. Now, another thing to be aware of before you get to try scuba diving for the first time is that most agencies will require you to complete a medical questionnaire. This is a series of questions to ask you a little bit about your medical history. So it'll be a series of questions that you'll hopefully answer no to, that you don't have medical concerns. But if you do have a yes answer, please understand it doesn't preclude you from diving. It just may require a doctor's signature. You'd be surprised at the types of people that actually can dive, even more than you think. So you're there, you've found your dive center or dive shop, you've cleared your medical releases, you've got your gear. Your pro, before they take you in the water, should do a briefing of the Discover Scuba Diving experience. During the briefing, your pro should talk to you about the gear that you'll be using and the skills that you'll be learning in the pool. At any time, feel comfortable asking questions. The entire purpose of this experience is for you to feel comfortable and confident in the water. Now let's talk a little bit about skills. What kind of skills do you have to have in order to scuba dive? Well, it's really this simple. You need to be able to breathe, check, and you need to be able to kick. And after that, it's just about enjoying the experience. In scuba, we say that slow is pro, and the idea here is to simply glide through the water, breathe, and enjoy the experience of the aquatic environment.
So what are some of the reasons why actually people start going scuba diving?
Well, I think the one thing that I found with a lot of the women actually that I've done Discover Scuba Diving experiences for is that there's someone in their life that said, "Hey, honey, let's try scuba diving." So a lot of women that I've met try diving because a significant other or a parent is either a diver or is interested in going diving. So I get a lot of women that are kind of coming along for the ride, and that can lead to a lot of anxiety because it's this sense of, well, this other person really wants me to do this and I really want to try it, but I'm a little bit nervous. Well, don't let that stop you. Nerves are completely normal. But again, take your time. The purpose here is to make you comfortable and confident. Work at a pace that's comfortable for you, and your pro should do that as well. Feel free to speak up at any time if you have a question, or if you just need a clarification, or you just need a minute to breathe. This time is for you, and as we say, scuba diving's fun. If we're not having fun, we're doing something wrong.
Pretty much. You know, there are so many reasons why people get started with scuba diving. For us, we have a son. And one time we took a trip up to Monterey, and he started investigating or had a taste of it. Maybe, Carolyn, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was World Oceans Day, actually, at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and they had this awesome demonstration for kids where they could put on a mask, put in a snorkel, and just bend at the waist and put their face into an aquarium tank. And our son did that and came up from that first breath of scuba and thought, I want to do this. I happened to overhear a docent at the aquarium talking about how they offer diving lessons for kids in the summer. And so I said, okay, well, it's summer and I don't know anything about diving. I don't know anyone that dives, but when we get home, I'll look into it. Well, the next thing you know, we had signed up our son for getting open water scuba diver certified. And at the end of his first pool class, the instructor turned to Ed and I and said, why don't you two try this? Why don't you guys do a little Discover Scuba Diving experience? So we thought, why not? Next thing you know, we're in the gear and taking our first breaths of scuba. And Ed and I came up from that. And I remember we turned to each other like, okay, we have to do this too.
But more importantly, it's when my son started requesting this, I'm like, hey, I got to investigate it. I don't know how old you have to be. But like Carolyn was saying, one thing led to another. He got a certification. I just couldn't let him go alone. So I went along for the ride. I remember our first boat trip. It was actually to Anacapa Island off the coast of California. My son was 11, and we started going. From there, had my wife join along, and it was one step after the other. We went to advanced open water. We went to our rescue diver courses through PADI. We then went now all the way to PADI Dive Master certification to be a professional. And this is the reason why we started this show, or not one of the reasons, but why we wanted to start this show, to tell others our history, our process of how we became scuba divers, so that it can be easier for everyone out there.
So you've heard our story, and maybe you've tried scuba diving and you're ready to dive in for more. So where do you go after this Discover Scuba Diving experience? You've tried it, you've loved it, now what? So your next step is becoming a certified diver. Now there are two options for certification. They are the scuba diver level as well as the open water diver. And it's worth the time to just think for a second about the difference here. So a scuba diver is a kind of individual that really is never intending to dive without a professional guiding them and taking care of them. And that's fine. If you're not ready yet to go out on your own, hopefully with a certified buddy, and you'd rather have a pro take you along, show you the way, keep track of you, then becoming a scuba diver is the way to go. But when you're ready to become more independent and dive without a professional, but hopefully always with a certified diver with you, that's the open water diver level. So as you're looking around and considering who you want to get certified with and where you want to get certified, also look into those two options, because certainly there is a difference in the requirements as far as certification as well as pricing.
Those are great. That's a really great tip. But the one thing we have to remember, when we say scuba diver and open water certification, those are PADI terms. PADI is one of the certification bodies out there, which I believe has like 80% of the market. But within PADI, those are two key terms, and they do mean two different things. So coming up on our next show, we're trying to keep it brief since this is our first outing, or I should say first adventure on live streaming. Hope it wasn't too bad for everybody. We've been having a great time, but next show coming up is going to be about, all right, you decided to go open water certification. What do you have to do? You have to have some type of e-learning. There's going to be a book versus online learning. We'll talk about the confined water practical that you have to do, such as actually floating. Yes, you just simply have to float. A swim test that you have to do. Don't worry, it's not timed. There's no stroke that you have to do. You just have to have fun. You just have to finish. The other things that we'll talk about is how to find a local dive shop, what to look for in a dive shop, what gear is going to be needed. And obviously that depends on your location.
In the meantime, if you're interested in hearing more from us or you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're on every flavor of social media that you're interested in. You can email us directly at support@r3diving.com. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter at r3diving, as well as the other usual social media platforms. We are here to support you and answer your questions, so feel free to just send them out to us.
Okay, so that's all we have for you guys for this episode. But just before we let you go, hey, Carolyn, is there any questions out there that we potentially may have?
We don't have any questions yet on our first episode, but hopefully we'll have more next time.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye.